Now exercises. Plants are called as because they fix carbon dioxide. Plants are called as photoautotrophs, right? Because they fix carbon dioxide. In an ecosystem dominated by trees, the pyramid of numbers is dominated by trees. Dominated by trees, right? In an ecosystem dominated by trees, the pyramid of numbers is grassland ecosystem. It is upright. Dominated by trees, the pyramid is upright. In aquatic ecosystem, the limiting factor for the productivity is light. The common detritivores in our ecosystem are fungi and bacteria and earthworm, mites. Okay, then the major reservoir of carbon on Earth is the ocean, I think. Which of the following has the largest population in food chain? Producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, and decomposers. Which of the following has the largest population in a food chain? Producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, and decomposers. The largest population. They have the decomposers, right? Fungi and bacteria. The second trophic level in a lake is phytoplankton, zooplankton, benthos, and fishes. The second trophic level in lake is like zooplankton. Secondary producers are herbivores, producers carnivores, none of the above. Secondary producers are herbivores, producers carnivores, and none of the above. Secondary producers, these are herbivores. What is the percentage photosynthetically active radiation power in the incident of solar radiation? Photosynthetically active radiation, it is almost 50%, and less than 2 to 10% is absorbed of total 50% of PAR. Photosynthetically active radiation. Distinguish between grazing food chain and detritus food chain. The grazing food chain, it starts with the detritus, it starts with the decomposers and all that. Grazing food chain started with the plants or something. Detritus food chain, it is mostly present in the oceans. No, it is mostly present on the land, and grazing food chain, it is mostly present in the oceans. Production and decomposition. Production, it is a production by the producers. Decomposition, it is a decomposed by bacteria and fungi. This is the production and decomposition. Okay, then the rate at which the production is going, this is the productivity. Now it can be primary productivity, secondary productivity, and tertiary productivity. Decompositions, they have the consumers like fungi, bacteria, and earthworms. Upright and inverted pyramid. Upright means like the first base is broad and then it gets narrow to the apex, and the inverted pyramid, it is like the apex is at the bottom and broad is at the top, so it's kind of inverted pyramid. Now food chain and food web. So food chain, it is like base, the requirement is like energy, and the requirement of an organism is like energy and food, all that. So this is why it is interconnected. So this is the food chain. It can be 3 to 4 trophic levels, then it is restricted. And food web, it is the interlink, it is formed by the lots of food chains, like 1 food chain, 2 food chain, 3 food chains, they get interconnected, and this is how it forms. Now litter and detritus. Litter, it is a fecal type of, and detritus, it is a dead or remnant or fallen parts of the leaves or parts of the plant, okay, on the ground, when there is like decomposers or consumers can eat that part. Primary and secondary productivity. So primary productivity, it is the production of the biomass by the rate of production of the biomass by the producers. So this is the primary productivity. It is kg per meter square, right? And per year, I think. And then secondary productivity, it is the rate of production by the consumers, right? It can be herbivores, Okay, so this is the secondary productivity. Now describe the components of an ecosystem. There is like specific composition and stratification. These are the components of an ecosystem. There is abiotic and biotic. Okay, abiotic includes the living organisms. No, biotic includes the biological living organisms, and abiotic includes the water, light, sunlight, temperature, and all these interaction between these two components make a functional unit of the nature, that is ecosystem, right? Like desert is an ecosystem, right? Terrestrial is an ecosystem, right? So define ecological pyramids and describe with examples and pyramids of numbers and biomass. So define ecological pyramids. So ecological pyramids uh, and describe with examples pyramids of number and biomass. Mostly for numbers it is upright, and for biomass in C it is inverted. It is inverted, right? And then what is primary productivity? Give you description of factors that affect primary productivity. It is habitat and availability of nutrients, right? It is habitat and availability of nutrients, right? And what is primary productivity? What is primary productivity? It is the rate of production of organic matter by plants, okay, in a given time. That is, this is why the unit is kilogram per meter per square, per meter square per year. So this is primary productivity. Mostly the plants, it can be decomposers as well. So factors that affect primary productivity, I told you. Define decomposition and describe the process and products of decomposition. So define decomposition. It is just the decomposition of the detritus or litter fallen on the ground. And describe the processes. It has fragmentation, leaching, and catabolism. These are work simultaneously. And then products of decomposition. Products of decomposition. These are like products of decomposition. Products of decomposition. It is humus, okay, and inorganic nutrients which goes down at the lower level of the soil, that is leaching. So these are the products. And minerals, nutrients to the soils. Give an account of energy flow in an ecosystem. It is unidirectional. Okay, it goes decreasing on the successive trophic levels from 1 to 4. It is like 10% of energy is being transferred only, so 90% is used by the present trophic level. So this is your exercise, and this is your chapter is done.